Welcome back, guys, to another video. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're putting down the home rental tools and we're getting into some automotive stuff. So in the garage today beside me, a 2012 Lincoln MKX. Really nice vehicle, clean, in really decent shape for its age. And this particular vehicle has what they call panoramic sunroof. Super nice feature, lets a lot of light inside the car, but it also requires a little bit of maintenance. So this particular roof is an externally opening sunroof, and it rides along a track on the top of the roof. You can see it here. It's got a rubber gasket on it to try and keep out some of the elements. And the biggest problem with some of these, if you don't maintain them, is that the dirt and the crud builds up in here, car washes, rain, snow, all that stuff. If you don't clean that track out, lubricate it properly, the sunroof will not slide smoothly, and there's a really good chance you're going to break the mechanism, the plastic clips that hold it to the arms that are in the track, and then you're dealing with a costly repair. So today we're going to show you how we clean this out and we make it open and close like a new roof. So just a quick note, this process, you can probably use it for any externally open sunroof that will have a track. This particular video is going to be for the 11 to 14 Lincoln MKX and the 11 to 14 Ford Edge, probably the titanium or the premium or the limited option that's going to have this panoramic roof. Also want to give a shout out to my buddy Craig Winters, definitely one of the best Ford mechanics in Canada, for the tips on the products to use and kind of how this process is done. So yeah, all the automotive stuff that's coming up, you guys are going to meet Craig in some future videos, so stay tuned for that. So product of choice for this today is WD-40. It's a specialist product, basically a white lithium grease, so it's going to repel moisture. It's going to help to move some of that dirt and keep the dirt out of that channel that the sunroof rides in, and just basically last for probably a year or so. This is something you should probably do as an annual service, maybe every time spring comes around, I would say. Quick observation here, guys. Taking a look at the seals on this roof, and in my opinion, this is where the problem starts. You take a look at these rubber seals and you notice how gray and white they are. And this is supposed to be it's supposed to run in the track, keep the water, the moisture, the grime out of here. But these seals are starting to dry out a little bit. They're not as soft as they should be. And in my opinion, these things are going to end up grabbing the arms that slide through here and slowing the whole mechanism down and eventually breaking the clips that hold it together. So I think step one is going to be to use a rubber cleaner and conditioner. Typically the one I would use is called UV40 from Meguiar's. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to shoot this seal and I'm going to let this stuff sit on here to help soften it up a little bit, and then we're going to wipe it down and clean it out as thoroughly as we can. That way we can open this seal up to clean this track out, because it's going to be filled with dirt and grime that are going to be slowing down this roof. As I mentioned before, we're gonna clean up this track with a rubber cleaner and conditioner. Now, apologies guys, this is not the correct bottle for this product, but I buy it in bulk, so it is a Meguiar's product, and I will post a description in the link below to the actual product. It's Meguiar Glaze number 40, and it's a vinyl and rubber cleaner and conditioner. And that's the most important part, is that it's a cleaner and a conditioner. We're not trying to dress this seal, we're trying to clean it and restore it and make it flexible so this roof can operate properly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to soak this seal down, and we're going to let this sit. Don't be shy with this stuff. Lay it on there and let it soak in. Just grab the other side. So we're going to let that soak in. We're going to let that rejuvenate the rubber a little bit here. It's going to clean it or store it. It's actually going to soften it up, believe it or not. So let me mention, two-part process here. Because the sunroof opens to the back externally, you also have a track in the front half of the vehicle. So we're going to do the same process a little more carefully on the front part of this once we have these back channels cleaned out and we can safely open this roof. So here's a quick shot of the roof opening just to have an idea. This is prior to the cleaning and the maintenance on it. Okay, so not horrible, but definitely not quick by any means, and this maintenance is really going to help speed things up. All right, so next step, we're going to load up the channel again with the cleaner and the conditioner, and we're going to use what I believe is a straw cleaner, and you can pick these up, I'm sure, at any dollar store, supermarket, grocery store, whatever. So once we finish cleaning these back channels, we're going to lubricate them with that lithium grease, and then we're going to open the sunroof fully, and we're going to take a look at the front tracks. You can just have a look at the dirt coming out of there. Pretty nasty. Definitely worth doing. All right, we got our channel all cleaned out. I can actually see in here now, and it is dirt free. So now we've got our lithium grease. They all come with a handy little nozzle on the can. So we're going to get the nozzle in the track, and we're just gonna put a nice bead. This comes out pretty quick, so you don't need too much. Pretty much runs all the way down the track when you spray it. All right, so that's done. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so this, the seal on this other side, it's a little bit tighter than the driver's side, and I wanna make sure this stuff gets in there to lubricate it. So, typical rental tool, grab a putty knife, which will work well. I can actually use it to open the seal up, and I can shoot the grease in there. All right, guys, we got the sunroof open on our MKX. We got the back half lubricated. Gonna run it back and forth a few times. We're gonna add a little bit more lubrication to the back rails. Having a look at the inside here, we got a couple dead creatures. Just looking at the rubber part of the seal, that would be for the waterproof and the airtight portion. This is filthy, just covered in dust. So is the track along the front. We're gonna have to clean all that out. And there's multiple tracks in here, as you can see. So we're gonna have to, we wanna clean all the old grease out of there and the bugs, and get it ready to be lubed up. And use a couple of Q-tips, basically something doesn't break down inside the rail. Yeah, you can see how nasty that is, taking away some of the old dirty grease too. So I just quickly grabbed a rag and wiped down the outer, or sort of the inner rail, and aside from noticing how dry it is, just look at the nasty old grease in there. So we're getting rid of all that. We're gonna reapply, run the roof back and forth a couple times, clean everything out, put a little tiny dab of grease under this spring piece right here, and we'll do that on both sides. which is going to help make it flexible again and do a proper job of sealing up the glass. Okay, still cleaning here. After some consideration, what I've decided to do is just basically a flat bar wrapped in a rag, and that allows me to get the rag down into these rails and wipe them all clean. So I'm cleaning that second rail there, and that works pretty good. I can get all the way underneath the glass. I apologize for the crappy camera angle here, guys. Get rid of all that old grease. So we're getting pretty good here, guys. I'm also using a pick just to get in and just clean up some of the chunks out of the tracks. Pick them out and wipe them on the rag. Just getting rid of all the old grease. Okay guys, we're at the rubber dressing stage now. So we're gonna shoot a little bit on the rag, get it nice and soaked. We're gonna dress this rubber up and get rid of all this silt and all this dirt in there. We're gonna have to get underneath the glass, clean this up, make it flexible again, also seal it up. Just work the rag in the channel of the rubber. One thing I should mention too, when you're cleaning out the rails, this is just an extruded aluminum, so it's not exactly a nice finished piece. So just be mindful of your fingers in there. You don't want to get any cuts that you don't have to. All right, so we got the track and the rubber seal nice and clean. Noticing on the rubber seal too, when you take a real close look at it, that it's not exactly in the best condition. It looks like it's starting to weather a little bit. It's not really cracked. Part of the cleaner and conditioner is to keep these seals flexible and soft and stop them from drying out. So I'm hoping that we're saving this one in time. I know this is an older vehicle, but hoping that by doing this going forward, an annual maintenance will keep this seal from cracking and breaking down. Well, guys, we got the other side all cleaned up here. We got the rails all nice and clean. We got the rubber weather stripping all cleaned up. Could still use a little bit more. There's a lot of dirt that gets trapped underneath that weather stripping that's going to sit against the metal components. But yeah, it's 100% better than it was. Okay, guys, I spraying the front part of this this track. It's going to be a little bit messier than the backside. That's going to help to have a rag or some sort of towel to protect the inside of the vehicle. But you also don't have to put a lot on here, because as we slide this roof back and forth, it's going to spread this grease out in the track. So we're just going to want to get first a little drop on the front of this little wire that moves back and forth. And you don't have to blast this out of the can. Just lay a couple of little beads along the track. And as you run the roof back and forth, it'll spread itself out. All right, guys, just a quick shot of the many openings and closings that we've done to help spread this lithium grease in these tracks. And everything seems to be working. Yeah, the operation's nice and smooth. Looks a little bit slow. I've heard this should be around 7 seconds each way, but we're going to keep an eye on it. Okay, so we're wrapping this up. We opened and closed the sunroof a number of times to help spread that grease out. Keep an eye on the speed of it, because it should be around 7 seconds open, 7 seconds closed. Just want to make sure the motor is in good health too. Last step, because we spread a bunch of grease, we did a bunch of cleaning of the rubber seals. I want to clean up the paint. Now this area here around the glass is all base clear. So we're going to use what's called a fine cut cleaner. Again, I'll post a link below in the description for this stuff. This is Meguiar Glaze fine cut cleaner, and I use it to clean up clear coat on almost any part of the vehicle. You're supposed to use a machine with it. We're going to put about a dime size drop on a rag and just go around, and in a circular motion, we're just going to clean up this painted area. We're going to be careful not to get it on seals we just dressed or we just cleaned up. And this is going to leave this area basically coating free after we're done. Okay guys, a quick wrap up here. We got the job done. Just wanted to run through, and again, I'll put some links in the description. WD-40 Specialist white lithium grease to grease the tracks. UV-40 or number 40 MeGuiar's mirror glaze to condition and clean up the rubber. Fine cut cleaner to clean up our clear coat afterwards. Invisible glass was used to clean up the panoramic roof glass. And of course our putty knife to open up the seal, and our straw cleaner, which worked really well to clean the track once we had the UV-40 in there. Alright guys, that's a wrap. Thanks for watching. I hope we showed you something here today. This is pretty much applicable to any exterior opening glass roof on any vehicle. You're going to have tracks to clean, you're going to have that annual maintenance to get done, so don't forget about it, because the last thing you want to do is burn out a motor or break a piece of the track where you got to do a more in-depth repair. So hit the like button and subscribe if you like this kind of content. We're going to be getting into some more automotive stuff along with the DIY. Thanks for watching J of All Trades. We'll see you again.